Hello, today we will talk about Kinera Freya. It's relatively affordable hybrid in-ear monitors. They announced recently, and it's a really good addition to their lineup. They announced 2 or 3 models simultaneously, if I remember right. Others are more expensive, and this one is the most affordable of new announced models. It's 4 drivers hybrid in-ear monitors with single dynamic driver and 3 balanced armatures. Price is $250, and there was some story connected about these earphones because some people received pre-production units and reviewed them. Others reviewed something totally different. Anyway, this is the final unit that I've got from the Ukrainian distributor, so probably it's the official retail version, at least I suppose, and today we will have a closer look. As you can see, design of package is really good, it's stylish, it's traditional for Kinera, hexagonal shape, and actually my suggestion, if you're thinking about starting your own earphones business, select some unusual package and keep this style. Besides hexagonal, there are pentagons, octagons, and many other shapes available, so choose one freely. Nice polygraphy, good silver embossing, company's logo, so pretty stylish look. And on the back side there is a list of accessories and technical specifications: 22 ohms of impedance and 110 decibels of sensitivity, so not too sensitive, not too tough to drive. And distortion less than 5%, but actually 5% it's pretty high. Maybe they wanted to write 0.5 or maybe less than 5, not sure about that measurements anyway. So let's open the box. And as usual with Kinera, they're trying to give you as much as possible. So, short manual, some information about social networks, history about the Freya, Norse goddess, and also information about the painting and artist who created these earpieces. Yeah, they are handmade. And short paper about the final type E tips that Kinera often use. And inside we will have 3 pair of white silicone tips, adapter, cleaning tool, lightning adapter, earpieces themselves. Let me pull them out. Let's put that aside, and an unusual storage box, white pleather with the design similar to the outer package. And inside you will have stock cable, pack of type E final audio tips, 5 pairs, and also USB-C adapter. According to the caption of the on the box, you should get either Lightning or USB Type-C, but I got both, so probably they decided to add them both. But it's not, I'm not 100% confident here, but most probably it will be so. And in terms of design, I need to zoom in, of course, because it's the beauty one should see. So let's peel the protectors, and you can see how beautiful they are. Each earpiece is handmade, it's hand painted. Kinera spent a lot of time creating the technology process for these shells, and they looks really unusual and looks like nothing other available on the market. In terms of shape, these shells are pretty traditional, so it's classical, custom-like, universal version of custom shell, pretty comfortable, fitting good into almost any ears. So basically Chinese manufacturers found this proper shape of the shells. They have average length of spouts, so sound isolation is also about average. They don't have a lip for holding the tips, they extending closer to the end, but no big lip. 3 bores, as you can see. I'm not sure how they will behave with time, how this beauty will preserve, but it's covered with some coating, so probably it should be reliable. Let's have some tips to give you an idea how do they look like. So here they are, first one and second one. Of course, each earpiece is unique. There are few versions of colored design, but I got this one. I like it really much. So stock cable is nice. It's probably nothing stellar, but you know, comparing with these earpieces, every cable looks like just average. So it's the case when earphones themselves are no match to any possible accessory set. So here used regular 2-pin connectors, no fancy MMCX, just basic 2 pins, so you can experiment with cable rolling, you can try something else, but I don't see much sense in that. So stock cable is anyway good, it's really soft. There are ear hooks formed, zero microphonics effect, really soft, prone to tangling. Actually, not prone, it's not easy to tangle, so it behaves pretty well in this aspect, not getting hard when it's cold outside, soft, comfortable without microphonic effect, braided with regular jack with carbon insert. So I'm not sure is there any sense to make any summaries, but you can see yourself. Design is superb, accessory set is superb, packaging is also great, so all the exterior parts are done almost flawlessly. And of course about the sound, there are really controversial reviews about these earphones, but probably there are few explanations for that fact. Besides the pre-production and final version, also they are pretty sensitive to this to tips rolling, because with white tips they are more linear with less low frequencies, sounding like almost natural with a slight hint of brightness, while with these final black tips they sounding more V-shaped and more fun with more low frequencies and actually a bit more treble, but because of the low's accent, treble sounding also more balanced. It's a V-shaped signature, but fairly well balanced. I gave them about 48 hours of burn-in, but I'm not sure if it was necessary, because I didn't listen them before burning in, unfortunately, but anyway, most probably they don't require burn-in, but so I'm not confident here. So get the proper tips, experiment maybe with some third-party tips, and let's proceed to the sound description. They are also pretty sensitive to the sources, so I like the pairing with FIO M15 because I like the pairing with a bit weightier and warmer source. It gives a bit more colored mids, and I really like this hint of vintage sounding. So I will describe sound with these black tips. Bass is accented, it's not like a big accent, it's slightly below average but still close to average. So they are not bass light, but definitely not bass heavy, so pretty balanced, and lows have a good impact, good tightness, and sounding pretty natural thanks to the good resolution, to the good control, and thanks to the proper amount of actually low frequencies. depth is good, maybe not the maximum, but deepest layers of bass are present and not shadowed, so when they are necessary they are also present in the mix. They are more suiting, of course, for the real or for the acoustic instruments, but with synthesized low frequencies they also sounding pretty pleasant. It's unless you want really heavy hitting low frequencies. So basically it's pretty suiting my taste, amount of lows and technical level of lows. Of course, as an example, I could use Musica Nuda or some other tracks that I commonly use, but today I wanted something like maybe not simpler but more traditional, and another one, Bite the Dust by Queen, is a perfect example of the track that suits the representation of these earpieces. They produce good, tight, impactful and really engaging bass, and at the same time they are not oversaturated low frequencies, so lows are not shadowing the other parts of this composition. Transition to mids are pretty smooth, so coherence is good, maybe not super, but on the good level, and mids are they can be characterized like a bit warmer balanced armatures, so the crispness and cleanness of balanced armatures are present, but at the same time they are shifted a bit towards the warmer side, so a bit of added weight and less focus on the micro contrast, so they're not trying to dig into the maximum detalization. At the same time they more trying to highlight the emotions, to give instruments proper body, proper weight, to fill vocals with necessary weight and mass, and sounding like a bit more vintage and analog and charming, but at the same time it's not a big coloration, it's just slight hint of spice over the traditional balanced armatures. Resolution is pretty good, not at the maximum level but still good, and also they are not super nitpicking. So they require some good tracks, of course, but not absolutely 100% monitoring and razor sharp like. Imaginary stage is above average, so not hugely above average, but noticeably above average. Width is a bit wider than depth, but depth layering is also pretty okay. And as an example of mid frequencies, let's go on. Yet another track that I really like, it's Notre-Dame de Paris. Of course, the French version disregards this Russian sticker. I don't know why organizer that I use for my media library decided to download the Russian version of cover, because it's original French version, and in my opinion it's the only version that should exist. So, of course, English version is good, Russian is also not so bad, but original is the greatest and the best, and vive la France. So, I selected Bohémienne because Belle is too overused, so Bohémienne is a bit less known track from this famous musical, but it's still really good. Great vocal and actually a pretty good instrumental part with really quiet but nice percussions appearing here and there, and with a good stylization of guitar music to the I don't know, probably some traditional Spanish tunes, so at least they have something in some kind of stylization. And these earphones sounding really good with this track. Maybe a bit more resolution for the female vocal would be a plus, but still it's sounding really natural, and thanks to the hint of added weight, all instruments are sounding charming, and other tracks with male vocal sounding really nicely. And treble, probably the most controversial part of other reviews, so I can share only my experience, because the level of treble sensitivity is different for everyone, so it depends on are you sensitive to treble or not. I'm definitely not treble sensitive. For me, more treble is better than less treble, but of course to particular degree. Crossing that degree and surpassing my comfort threshold is also not a good thing, but these earpieces are not coming even close. They have traditional balanced armature treble with slightly above average extension, not super extended, but still pretty normal, enough to provide the basic layering and good overtone saturation. And in terms of representation, treble here is like a bit lightweight armature-like, clean, crisp, and highlighted, of course, because accent on treble is present. For me, it's a comfortable level that provides a good amount of presence, good amount of crispness, but if you're sensitive to the treble, maybe it could be too much for you. But probably it's not that version of tuning that caused that negative reviews about the treble, because it's not even close to the brighter sounding earphones. At least for me, it's kind of traditional V-shaped signature, maybe with slightly bigger accent on treble, but not even close to being discomfortable. And as an example for the treble, I got David Bowie, Wild is the Wind, great track. Basically it's all about David's voice, but of course also here present nice percussions, guitars, so that instruments that require good treble extension, and this earpieces definitely gives it. So this track is sounding really engaging, a bit funnier than it should be in the real life, but still it's a really engaging signature. So to summarize everything, it's a classical V-shaped tuning with technical mids, but shifted a bit towards the warmer side. In terms of pairing, they require some good source. I basically prefer them with a bit warmer sources to highlight their mids, because there are a lot of V-shaped earphones, but I decided to push this warmth of mids a bit higher, and it gives pretty pleasant and enjoying sound signature. Speaking about the comparisons, honestly I can't recall many models in this price range or even close, like BQ EYZ Spring 2 that I reviewed not so long ago. BQ EYZ is different, they have more engaging, more highlighted bass, not in terms of quantity, but in terms of energy put to the low frequencies. And BQ EYZ has a bit weightier and more extended treble, so it's different signature. Like this one is more close to classical V-shapeness, and Spring is like more linear but more fun and more engaging with more energy put into the sound. I don't know, Shozy Form 1.4, actually Shozy have more low frequencies, a bit more V-shapeness in terms of signature, more lows with a bit less resolution and bit colder mids, and pretty similar treble with a bit more extension, but a bit less resolving on the treble. Maybe there are some other models, I don't know, Duno DK 2001, they are more expensive, but they are a bit more linear and a bit more energetic, so they put more energy to the sound, while this one is sounding a bit more relaxed. So, I don't know, AudioSense AQ3, it's totally different, they are natural, more totally focused on the micro detalization, more flat, more linear. So I'm trying to recall some other models, but I can't currently, so if you need some additional comparisons, just feel free to ask. But of course, you know, I'm pretty sure that it's a model that one will buy mainly not because of the sound, but sound here is pretty nice, but of course because of the design, and it's definitely great here. And also I want to mention the accessory set. It's a really good idea to add the adapters, both Lightning and USB-C. It's not close to the, let's say, iBus or DC01 for example, but it's better than traditional stock adapters, so they are of course they suit these earphones pretty well, and they show pretty good symbiosis, so it's like good addition to the accessory set, and as usual you will have good tips and so on and so forth. So in my opinion, Kinera managed to release the really well balanced and competitive earphones in this price range, but of course we'll see how market will accept them. I like them, so thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and have a nice day.